I want to talk about this for 1 second because a lot of times when I was talking about the election, people brought up the idea that transgender people were shoving it in their face. And why did they just have to be so vocal about it? And so now they're saying this opinion is on transgender issues, voters want common sense, which I would argue already exists. But let's get into it for a minute here. So why did you hear so much about transgenderism in the past couple of years? I'm going to use an example here. And this example hopefully will make some sense to you. There's this game, M.U.L.E, that came out in 1983. I played it on the Commodore 64. It's one of my favorite games in the world. It introduced really the idea of economy in games where you could kind of just, you could be evil. You could corner the market. You could raise prices. You could screw over other people. You played it with your friends. So it was multiplayer. It was really good. It was created by Danielle Butenberry. She also did Seven Cities of Gold, which is another super influential game. Both those games get quoted by like Will Wright and other game developers just all the time for like what the influence they were and just how much impact they had. Because back then, nobody knew what to expect. And something like M.U.L.E came out, it was crazy good. So why mention M.U.L.E? Exactly. It's been since 1983 it's existed. It's this beautiful game that has just existed without anybody caring about it. But now, what if a political party came into power and said, hey, we're actually going to start being against video games and we're going to take action against video games. And in fact, we hate M.U.L.E because it says bad things about capitalism and we're neoliberal. So we need to really be pro-capital. Woo, yes, the free market will solve everything. Where M.U.L.E shows the free market can really screw people over, but it's also a lot of fun. So they just start saying they're going to ban M.U.L.E. So this is just like Ron DeSantis and transgender people where he said, oh, this is a soft, easy target. I will just go start attacking them. And so people just start attacking M.U.L.E now. And they're like, we got to get rid of M.U.L.E. We got to get rid of M.U.L.E. And so the developers of M.U.L.E or M.U.L.E fans are just like, wait a minute. We've just existed. We just want to keep existing. That's all we want. That's our big demands. Just to keep existing. It's really cool. M.U.L.E's really fun. You should play M.U.L.E. And you know, the people against that would be like making up all kinds of stories of like, you know, M.U.L.E killed my kid. M.U.L.E made me pee in a cat litter box or something. Right? Like all of a sudden all this crazy stuff comes up because it's like, hey, it's safe to attack M.U.L.E because it's against capitalism. Right? And M.U.L.E's like, we've been here all the time. But no, right? And so then all of a sudden, the M.U.L.E people are like, oh my God, we've got them out of defense. They're gonna kill M.U.L.E. You can play it on an emulator now, by the way. So they're gonna remove it off of emulators. They're gonna ban it outright. So we've got to do something. So we got to get some money. We got to go to court. We got to defend ourselves when attacked. When laws get passed against us, we got to say something. So also now people are like, man, why is M.U.L.E? Why am I hearing so much about M.U.L.E? Well, it's not M.U.L.E's fault. M.U.L.E's just defending itself. You're only in the news because of that. And so when Ron DeSantis does all those things and brings it up, they've got to go to court. And guess what? The court sides that Ron DeSantis is wrong, that he was using it just as a way to rally up people because people feel uncomfortable around trans people, and so they feel free to attack them. It becomes a safe target to attack. Which is nuts because it's often, I don't think you all know that you've been around trans people. Just saying. Right? But also, trans people just want to exist. They just want to go on. So common sense laws already exist. There's no special laws that need to be made around trans people. Like, all of this existed. No, Elon Musk, nobody's ever gone to school and, oh my God, went to school, a woman, came back a man. No, they did it behind my back. It's all lies. Right? It's all lies. And so if all of a sudden you had M.U.L.E in the news a bunch because it was defending itself because people were making up lies about M.U.L.E, and all M.U.L.E want to do is like, I was made in 1983. I just want to be available on emulators. I'm going to have some false promise. In this one case, this is a little weird, but all right, that it's going to come out on Steam someday, and it hasn't. But that's cool. It's cool because you can still play the emulator version. It just wants to exist. It just wants to be. It doesn't want to be in the news. It doesn't want to go to court. It doesn't want to have to defend itself. It just wants to exist. And that's what happened. So before you start screaming about things being shoved down your face, look at the whole picture of how we got to where we are and then think about that, okay? And also, go play M.U.L.E. Because I play it regularly on an emulator. I know I say not to pirate things, but I bought that game on multiple platforms, so I feel comfortable with that. And I'd forgotten a little bit about Seven Cities of Gold. It's so good. It's so good. The exploration, that's really good. So I think I'm going to go play some Seven Cities of Gold today. Oh, but also, don't ban M.U.L.E. Please don't ban M.U.L.E. And if you've never played M.U.L.E, I'm just going to say, college drinking game. for friends, you will fight. It's really